Have you ever sat there watching someone you love, maybe your mom, your dad, your grandma, try to push themselves out of a chair and it looks like they're climbing a mountain? You see the way they grip the arms of that chair, their whole body tensing up just to rise. And then they pause. That little wince. The look in their eyes like they're trying to hide the pain or maybe the embarrassment. And for a second, you wonder, is this just normal aging or is something deeper going on? You brush it off at first. We all do. They're just tired. They didn't sleep well. Maybe they skipped lunch. But then it happens again and again. And suddenly, that quick shuffle to the bathroom becomes a slow, careful trip. One hand on the wall, one hand on the table. And you start to realize this isn't just about stiff knees or sore legs. No, my friend, this is about independence. This is about freedom. Because when the legs go, everything starts to change. The confidence to get up and move fades. The ability to walk around the block, stand in the kitchen and cook a warm meal, or even play with the grandkids gone. And that spark in their eyes, it starts to dim. But what if I told you there's something you can do, something simple, something real, that can help them get that strength back? Not a workout, not a pill, just food. Real, everyday food. 6 specific things you can add to their plate that are scientifically proven to bring back leg strength. Not in months, not in weeks. In just 8 hours. That's right, 6 foods backed by real studies that can help restore muscle function, boost energy, and give your loved one the strength to stand tall again. And number 4, you've probably walked past it 100 times in your fridge and never knew the power it held. This video could change the way you care for someone you love, and maybe even give them back something they thought was lost forever. So do this for me. If you believe our seniors deserve to feel strong and capable again, type strong again in the comments right now. And hit that subscribe button on elderly care, because what we're about to share might just change a life. Let's dive in. Let's start with something that grows in the ground but can lift someone back onto their feet. Beets. Now, I want you to picture Joe. He's 72. Used to be the kind of man who'd mow his lawn, fix the garage door, walk down the block just to get the morning paper. But recently, even walking to the mailbox became a struggle. His legs just didn't have the same fire anymore. He'd lean against the door frame for balance. He'd hesitate before each step. And his daughter, bless her, she noticed. She didn't panic. She didn't rush him to a dozen specialists. She did one simple thing. She added beet juice to his breakfast every morning. That's it, a small glass, right next to his toast. And in just days, Joe was walking again with a different rhythm, a different energy. No more holding onto the mailbox for support. Why? Because beets are one of nature's secret weapons, especially for seniors. Here's what most people don't realize. Beets are full of something called nitrates. Now, that might sound like a lab chemical, but it's not. In your body, nitrates turn into nitric oxide, and that's the magic. Nitric oxide helps open up your blood vessels. It gets blood flowing easier, faster, deeper into the muscles. And for aging legs that struggle to get oxygen and nutrients, that's everything. Think of it like this. When blood flows better, muscles breathe better. They recover faster. They get stronger. And here's where the myth comes in. People hear beets and immediately think heart health. And yes, that's true. But what the research now shows is that this same boost in circulation also improves endurance and muscle oxygenation. Not just in athletes, but in older adults too. In fact, one study showed improved walking distance in seniors after just a single serving. And you don't need to make it complicated. You don't need to force down raw beets if the taste isn't your thing. A small glass of beet juice in the morning. That alone can make a difference. Or roast them. Toss them in a little olive oil, a sprinkle of salt. They come out sweet, earthy, soft. Perfect on the side of any meal. Beets get the blood flowing. They get the muscles ready. But blood flow is only one piece of the puzzle. Because if we really want strength back, real strength, we need to rebuild the muscle itself. And to do that, you need protein. You need fuel. You need the right building blocks. Now, once you've got the blood flowing like we talked about with beets, the next step is giving your muscles the raw material they need to rebuild. And that's where eggs come in. Let me tell you about Ruth. She's 80. sharp as a tack, always had this gentle way about her. Until her legs began to fail her. She stopped standing in the kitchen, stopped going out to her garden, even stopped joining her church group for afternoon walks. She told herself it was just part of getting older. But there was something else going on. For years, Ruth had avoided eggs. She'd heard all the stories, all the fear around cholesterol. So she steered clear. Scrambled eggs, hard-boiled, omelets, off the menu. She thought she was protecting her heart. But then, her grandson, he's a physical therapist, sat her down. He said, "Grandma, you're not giving your muscles what they need to stay strong." He explained it simply. Eggs aren't the enemy. They're one of the best tools we have, especially after 60. Here's the science. Eggs are packed with something called leucine. It's an amino acid, and not just any amino acid. Leucine is the key switch that turns on your body's muscle-building engine. Without it, your muscles stay idle. With it, they begin to rebuild, repair, and regain power. And this becomes especially important as we age. See, after 60, our body's natural ability to build and maintain muscle slows down. It takes more effort, more quality protein, and that's exactly what eggs provide, in a compact, delicious, and affordable package. Now, here's the part most people still get wrong. They're afraid of the cholesterol. They still believe the old science. But what we know now, through years of newer studies, is that for the vast majority of seniors, moderate egg consumption is not only safe, it can actually help by providing essential nutrients like choline and vitamin D. And the best part? You don't need to eat a carton. Just one egg a day, boiled, scrambled, poached, or even added to soup, can make a huge difference. It's one of the simplest, most effective ways to give the body what it's craving: strength. So if you've got someone in your life, like Ruth, who's been avoiding eggs out of fear, it might be time to gently help them rethink it. Because sometimes the food we've been told to stay away from is the very thing we need most. Now, protein is powerful. But what if you want something that works even faster? Something cool, creamy, refreshing, and loaded with the nutrients aging muscles need? Now let's shift the scene. Picture Anna. She's 76, just had hip surgery, and like many seniors after a procedure, her strength dropped fast. Simple things like walking from the bed to the kitchen became exhausting. Her legs felt heavy, her balance uncertain. Her family tried everything: more rest, physical therapy, small walks, but progress was slow. Then her doctor made a curious suggestion: Greek yogurt, twice a day. Anna was skeptical at first. "I've eaten yogurt my whole life," she said. But this was different. Within just 1 week, her daughters noticed something. She moved more easily. Her steps were steadier. She was smiling again. That old spark starting to return. And here's why it worked. Greek yogurt isn't your average snack. It's a nutritional powerhouse, especially for older adults. First, the obvious: protein. But not just any protein, high-quality, complete protein that your body can absorb and use to rebuild tired, worn-down muscle tissue. Second, and just as important, calcium. Because without strong bones, strong muscles don't mean much. Calcium helps anchor that strength, keeps the legs sturdy, joints protected, balance intact. Then there's vitamin B12. This one often gets overlooked. But B12 supports the nerves that fire your muscles, the very signals that tell your legs to move, to lift, to stand. And let's not forget the probiotics. They may seem unrelated, but gut health is tied to nutrient absorption, inflammation, even energy levels. And for seniors, a happy gut means a stronger, more responsive body. Now here's the catch. Not all yogurt is created equal. Regular yogurt? It has protein, sure, but Greek yogurt has nearly double. And it's thicker, creamier, more satisfying. The kind of snack that feels like a treat, but works like medicine. If you're thinking, how do I serve it? It's easy. Start with a few spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt. Add a drizzle of honey, a handful of berries, even a sprinkle of oats or chia seeds if you want to get fancy. Suddenly, you've got a snack that fuels the body, supports recovery, and actually tastes good. For someone recovering from surgery, for someone who's lost muscle after being stuck in bed, for someone whose strength is fading quietly day by day, Greek yogurt can be one of the gentlest, most effective ways to start turning things around. But we're not done yet, because sometimes the real problem isn't what the muscles are missing. It's what's silently working against them. Inflammation. It creeps in, swells joints, weakens movement, slows everything down. And there's a food, often overlooked, often sitting in your spice rack right now, that fights back harder than most prescription drugs. Let's talk about something golden. Not gold you wear, but gold you eat. Turmeric. Now, Tom was 78, and like so many seniors, the stairs had become his greatest challenge. Each step felt like a mountain. Knees stiff, joints aching, legs screaming with every push upward. He hated it because the stairs used to be nothing, but now they stood like a wall between him and the rest of his life. One evening, while reading a health article his daughter sent him, he saw something interesting. Turmeric for joint pain. He thought, why not? So he started small, just a little scoop of turmeric powder in his evening tea. No sugar, no honey, just turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and hot water. After a week, he noticed something strange. The pain? It wasn't gone, but it wasn't biting at him the same way. Another week passed, and he walked up the stairs without gripping the rail. And then he did it again, and again. See, what Tom discovered, what science now supports, is that turmeric isn't just some old folk remedy. It's real medicine, grown in the ground, given to us straight from the earth. The magic lies in a compound called curcumin. That's the active ingredient. And curcumin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories we know. Inflammation is the silent thief of strength. It swells your joints. It stiffens your muscles. It slows recovery after even the lightest activity. But curcumin goes in and calms that storm. It soothes the inflammation. It gives your muscles and joints a fighting chance to heal. And here's the real kicker. Most people only think of turmeric as something for arthritis. And yes, it helps with joint pain, but the benefits go much deeper. Research now shows turmeric can support muscle repair. That means after a long walk, a light workout, or even just a tiring day, your body recovers faster. You feel stronger the next morning, more capable, more confident. And you don't need to do anything fancy. Tom's turmeric tea is a great start. Just hot water, turmeric, and black pepper. That last one helps your body absorb the curcumin better. Or you can mix it into soups, stews, even scrambled eggs. It's warm, earthy, comforting, and quietly, over time, it begins to reverse the inflammation that's been weighing your loved one down. But now, let's shift gears, because what if we could take all this healing and sweeten it? What if we had a food, soft, familiar, naturally sweet, that gives the body instant energy so those legs don't feel like sandbags anymore? You probably got it sitting in your fruit bowl right now. Now let's sweeten things up, literally. Bananas. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 76, sharp as ever, loves her evening routine. TV on, slippers on, and a cookie in hand. Just one little treat at the end of the day. Nothing wrong with that, right? But lately, she'd been waking up stiff, leg cramps in the night. That heavy, dragging feeling in the morning that made even brushing her teeth feel like a chore. Then one day, her daughter made a tiny suggestion. Mom, just swap the cookie for a banana. Just try it. Now, Linda didn't expect much. It's just fruit, right? But after a few days, something shifted. The cramps eased. She felt a little more pep. Even took a walk to the corner store without needing to stop and rest on the way back. So what's the deal? Bananas are more than just a convenient snack. They're muscle fuel, plain and simple. They're packed with potassium and magnesium, two of the most critical minerals for muscle contractions. Think of them like your body's electrical wiring system. Without enough potassium, those signals that tell your legs to move, they get scrambled. And that's when the twitching, cramping, and sudden weakness shows up. And magnesium? It helps your muscles relax. It keeps them loose, responsive, ready to move without locking up. Here's the part most people get wrong. They skip bananas because they think they're too sugary. And yes, they're naturally sweet. But for seniors, especially those who struggle with energy, strength, or low appetite, that little sugar boost is exactly what the muscles need. This isn't about processed sugar. It's about real, nature-made energy bundled with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. And the beauty of it? It's gentle, it's familiar, it's easy to digest, A banana in the afternoon can prevent that mid-evening slump. It can keep the legs from feeling like they're made of lead. And it gives just enough sweetness to feel like a treat without the crash. So next time you see someone reaching for a cookie or a cracker or something out of habit, offer them a banana instead. It's not just a snack, it's strength and appeal. And now, we've come to the final food on our list, the one most people never associate with leg strength. In fact, a lot of folks avoid it altogether. But it may just be the most powerful food on this entire list. Now here it is, the last one. And I'll be honest with you, this one surprises people the most. Because when we talk about strength and energy and rebuilding tired muscles, hardly anyone thinks about sardines. But they should. Take Raymond, for example. 81, a former high school math teacher. Loved books, crosswords, jazz on old vinyl. But hated fish. Couldn't stand the smell, the texture, none of it. His wife, though, she was clever. She started blending sardines into his pasta sauce. Just a couple times a week. Didn't say a word. A month later, Raymond noticed something. His legs felt steadier. His balance was sharper. That little wobble when he stood up from his recliner? Gone. The morning dizziness he used to brush off? Fading. So what changed? Sardines happened. These tiny little fish are absolutely packed with nutrients that aging muscles are desperate for. First off, vitamin D. Not just for bones, though that matters, but for muscle control. Vitamin D helps muscles contract smoothly. And without enough of it, people, especially seniors, start to feel weak, shaky, off balance. Then there's calcium. Yes, we usually associate that with bone strength, and rightly so, but it also plays a key role in how muscles move. Without calcium, your muscles can't contract properly. They get sluggish. They fatigue faster. And then, the real powerhouse, omega-3 fatty acids. These are nature's anti-inflammatories. They go into your cells, calm the fire, and let your muscles heal. They keep joints flexible, reduce swelling, and make every step feel just a little smoother. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Sardines? They're too fishy, too salty, too strange. But here's the truth. Sardines are one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can possibly eat, especially for older adults. They're like a multivitamin you can put on a cracker. And if the idea of eating them straight doesn't sit right, there are easy ways to make them work. Blend them into tomato sauce, like Raymond's wife did. Toss them into a salad with lemon juice. Layer them on a whole grain cracker with a little mustard. Start with just 1 tin a week. That's all it takes to begin feeling the difference. So we talked about 6 foods. 6 small, powerful changes that can rebuild strength, restore confidence, and, quite possibly, change someone's life. But what does that actually mean for your loved one? Right now, today, it's one of the hardest things to witness. Someone you love. Someone who once walked with purpose, moved with ease, maybe even danced across the kitchen floor. Now, struggling just to get out of chair. You see their hands tremble. You notice how they hesitate before taking a step. You hear them sigh when they think no one's listening, tired, frustrated, maybe even a little ashamed. And it hits you. This isn't just about movement. It's about freedom. It's about the quiet dignity of being able to stand on your own 2 feet. And yes, it hurts to see that slipping away, because you remember who they were. You remember the strength they once had, not just in their legs, but in their spirit. But here's what I need you to know. You are not powerless. You don't need some magic pill. You don't need complicated programs or expensive treatments. What you need, what they need, might be sitting right there in your kitchen. Because this isn't just a story about food. It's a story about hope. Beets that bring blood back to the muscles. Eggs that feed the body's rebuilding process. Greek yogurt that helps restore what surgery or sickness took away. Turmeric that silences inflammation like a whisper. Bananas that keep the fire burning just a little longer. And sardines, small, humble, often ignored, delivering nutrients strong enough to steady a man's legs. 6 foods, 6 tools, 6 chances to say, I believe you could be strong again. So here's what I want you to do. Just pick one food. Add it to their plate today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, watch them, not just their legs. Watch their eyes. Watch how they look at you when they feel even a little stronger. Watch how that first step without help changes everything. Because what you're doing, it's not just about nutrition. It's about love. Real, determined, active love. You're fighting for someone's dignity, their comfort, their joy. And that, my friend, is no small thing. That is one of the most powerful, most beautiful acts of care there is. Hold on to that, and let's keep going. Let's take a breath together. We've covered a lot. To recap, we talked about beets to boost blood flow and help muscles breathe again. Eggs full of leucine, giving aging muscles the power to rebuild. Greek yogurt for protein, calcium, and that extra dose of recovery. Turmeric to calm inflammation that's been silently holding your loved one back. Bananas sweet, simple, and full of energy-boosting minerals. And sardines, tiny but mighty, restoring balance and resilience from the inside out. 6 foods, 6 tools, each one offering something real, something you can do today. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these are you most excited to try? Which one have you already used? Have you seen a difference in someone you care about? Comment below. Tell me what you're seeing. Tell me what you're feeling. Because you're not alone in this. And if this video spoke to you, if it helped even a little, I invite you to subscribe to Elderly Care. This channel is here for you, to share what works, to give you support, clarity, and hope, one small step at a time. New videos come every week. Simple ideas, real science, and a lot of heart. So join us. Be part of this community that believes no one is ever too old to feel strong again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And most of all, thank you for showing up for someone you love. Keep caring, keep believing, and remember, every small change you make today can mean a world of difference tomorrow. I'll see you next time.